having been poor as a little girl back in the 80s and 90s, the thing you would do if you had a video system at all is you'd maybe have a couple games you actually owned outright, and then you'd rent a bunch of stuff. Or you would, network people you knew and just kind of trade games back and forth and just borrow each other's stuff. So, I to this day, like, my actual legitimate NES collection is maybe 20 games. And I've played a significantly larger chunk of the library than that. But the NES was not the only game in town. I grew up with someone who had the other 8-bit system, the Sega Master System, which, if you are in Brazil, you love to death. If you are anywhere else in the world, the what now? Didn't they Sega get started with the Genesis? And it was a nice little system. And occasionally, I would, go over to his house and play those games, or once in a blue moon, just for variety's sake, it's like, okay, let's just like swap for a while. You take my NES, do what you want with it. I'll take your Master System, and yeah, just play what small library games he had for it. So there's a bunch of games for it that are particularly burned into my memories, and I just kind of quickly grabbed ROMs of those and an emulator that I guess is okay. So tonight, yeah, just going to be revisiting that weird part of my childhood, but I would have access to somebody else's system and play this handful of games. And starting off, we have the, I want to say, first real effort that Sega ever made to like have their own mascot. Which, it went in a way. They stuck with it for a while. Maybe longer than they should have. But here is Alex Kidd in Miracle World. Sorry about that flashing text on the title screen. I forgot about that. Just gonna let you do this track one thing for a while here. This is not the first Alex Kidd game. The first Alex Kidd game is Alex Kidd and the Lost Stars, which is a kind of forgettable platformer. I think it was in arcades originally. Nothing to really write home about. This is the one, though, where it was like, okay, we got our own console here, and yeah, it's very ambitious. It's also very slippery. I'm playing on a keyboard instead of the original kind of loose D-pad, and it's still going to be a bit of a thing. But yeah, this was kind of like this is going to be our competition with the Mario games, and it's not a great game. It's an okay game. It's got some flaws. It's got some kind of big flaws. I would still call it a good game overall. But you'll see when I get to them, like, some of the questionable choices in this. We are, of course, ratchet scrolling, going downward. The faces on these little, like, pterodactyl birds are really something. These question mark blocks are technically random. And did I seriously die that early? Sometimes they got power-up, sometimes they got one-up, sometimes they have the Grim Reaper there. Of course, there's no, like, way for this game to set the, like, randomness seed. So they're technically predetermined if you do the same things every time. It's a little weird. There's some other stuff where that's going to come up. Why am I playing so terribly? Holy cow, let's just... Take that from the top, that was embarrassing. But yeah, so like the that first one there, that is going to be the bracelet power-up as soon as I hit it. Because again, like, no dice are rolled until you hit that, unless you skip it. There are some, like, random things early on that are just, like, you have to win this, basically, 50-50 shot to proceed. So it helps to play the game in some ways always consistent. I'm sure mine is not the optimal way, but it is what I grew up with. If I remember to do it all. So, let's scroll that off. And the other weird thing is, like... Yeah, that one's death, just the way the RNG is currently set up. If I skip it, though, the next one would be. So, like, at a certain point, you have to, you know... flee death. I believe that pink block will paralyze me temporarily. Another thing about this is, when this game was first released, and that's, I believe, the version that I'm playing, at the end of basically every level, you grab a rice ball and eat it. And at some point, when they did the Sega Master System 2, just like, you know, reselling the hardware, they decided to Americanize that and make it a big hamburger. And I have an SMS2 as my personal copy of this system. But like, I grew up with this version of it, so that always bothered me playing that. It's like, no, you know, you don't eat hamburgers. You eat rice balls. You and your giant ears. How dare you? Your giant ears and your tracks. It's kind of a weird design when you get down to it. The other thing is, you notice I'm collecting all these big money bags here. Which is a standard thing to do in games. These you just save up on the inventory screen here, which also has any power-ups that I've obtained. You can pause at any time and just, like, activate one of these. Also, now we get to see the first level just kind of seamlessly transition to scrolling horizontally in underwater section. I don't really care about that one that much. It's always ratchet scrolling, but, you know, if you change the direction up. The water physics in this game are kind of infamous. If you do nothing, you will just float up. If you hold down, you will go downward. Maintaining a particular height is just kind of, you know, tap it and pray, which will come up later if I get that far. Yeah, so the money is, there are shops in this game where you can just, you know, buy power-ups a la carte. And the power-ups in here are good stuff, too. I'll use them eventually. And, yeah, one-hit kills, so I'm being a bit on the careful side. That fish has, I think, like 8 HP, but you have to get just the right angle. Your big, huge fist here is a decent size, but, like, it's very easy to slide forward too far and get yourself killed that way. And I can't remember. I think this is going to be Rim Reaper? No, one up, okay. And here's the little world map. And here's our first shop. So, let's see. I'm actually going to find out money, so let's get some invisibility powder. I already have a bracelet. I could have used it before I came in here and just got a second out spare. And here's the motorcycle, which is... this game was really proud of its vehicle stuff. So, now this is an auto-scroller, and I will kill enemies on contact. If I hit one of those red blocks, I will lose the motorcycle and have to proceed on foot. well, it's kind of honest, but I can change the speed. Fast is a little ridiculous. I guess I don't really have any particular reason to be killing all these frogs and scorpions, but, you know, I can. It is traditional in games for water to kill you. Here, they at least have that really disgusting water when it's deadly. And here's the big flaw of Alex Kidd. There are boss fights of a sort in this game where you have to play paper, rock, scissors. This first one, you just kind of have to play blind. And if I recall, with the RNG, the way I have primed it, this will be tie on the first round, and then I win on the second two. I love this jingle, but like... Oh, no, it's... Okay, well now I'm in danger. It's not the pattern I usually use. Let's see. Okay, backup strategy worked. So there's rematches against these three eventually, where there is first the paper, rock, scissors match, and then an actual proper boss fight. And like I was saying before, this game was preceded by Alex Kidd and the Lost Stars, which was just a very, honestly, forgettable platformer. Nothing to really write home about besides the weird dogs that shout the words "bow wow wow" at you in like giant letters that will kill you, and they're just very weird. I'm going to also fight this octopus over the course of like a full minute. Sorry about that. But it is a foe to be respected. I mean, I could just go around, I guess. There's one later where you can like sneak into its pot for the whole alternate path, but yeah, you know what? Yeah. To actually kill that, I'd have to just like punch down the whole arm one segment at a time, and it takes forever. I don't remember these seahorses being a thing, but apparently they are. Yeah, I don't have to get every money block, it's fine. But yeah, like, this was, you know, one of the earliest games in this system, and it's honestly it's very ambitious for like an 8-bit platformer. From what, like 1985, 86, I think. Feel free to look it up on your own. Okay, this one I really don't want to leave standing. Yeah, there's no, like, hit stun effect when you hit those. And they do take multiple hits each. And again, this on the original very, very, very slippery D-pad is, like, very tense anytime in the water. How satisfying. There's nothing we can go down there, okay. If I don't ratchet those off the side, I can at least have a nice monetary reward. But I don't know if I'm going to go for a full clear of this. I have other games to get to tonight, not that many of them. I am going to, like, play for a legitimate game over, at least, though. And I'm sure if I get towards the end, I'm going to eventually, like, really be screwed, because there's some... there's some hard stuff in the final level or two. Which, you know, is good old rote memorization. Oh yeah, these little skull blocks. Do this. Which is a weird You have such, like, slippery movement in this. But yeah, there are, like... I don't quite want to say Metroid, but there are, like, you know, big exploratory stages towards the end, which don't technically require you to use certain power-ups to get through them, but, like, good luck if you don't. Yeah, the destructible blocks that you just, you know, punch out to make your own path up things like this is kind of novel. Not a lot of other games did this for several years to come after this. Like, I mean, you can, you know, break bricks with your head in Mario games, but, like, this specific kind of challenge is, was rare for a while. Also, like, the scorpion being, like, hidden in the foreground there. Yeah, like, this game, like, it has flaws. Like, again, the rock, paper, scissors battles are just a bad idea. But it has so much, like, creativity and, like, ambition behind it that I have to respect it. You can very, very easily hit the wrong ones and then be not entirely screwed, but, like, have a much more difficult path, yeah. Big, huge text dump with plot. I appreciate the phrase "evil men." But, yeah, sequels to this. So, again, like, okay, first game series is but fine. This one's, like, ambitious and pretty cool. Here we have yet another vehicle. Here I have to tap the jump button to pedal and keep it in the air. If I crash it at some point, I will fall into the water, and then it's a water level from then on. Do I actually want to go for? Also, it's weird that, like, your collision box and your pick up the money box aren't the same. Like, my face has to touch it to get the money. However, hitting the red blocks there with the propeller, like, instantly plummeting. Bother there. Yeah, money is nice, especially if you're dying a lot and want to, like, buy your power-ups again, but, like, I also keep forgetting to use the power-ups often enough that I don't really care, but, you know. This is practically a bonus level. This is also a lot harder to do than making it look. I have just decades of muscle memory from playing this now and then over the years. But, yeah, so sequels to this game just got, like, increasingly just bad and gimmicky. There was one called Alex Kidd in High Tech World, which is kind of... I guess we'll call it an adventure game. Best I can call it, anyway. But I will get the telepathy orb, because, like, yeah, this is not a playable game without that. Yeah, Alex in High Tech World is, like, just... It is a game designed to sell guides. Straight up. And I'll stick everything here. There's, like, a bunch of weird trivia about, like, Japanese politics the year it came out. There's, like, a part of the game with no hint where you have to pray at a shrine, Was it 108 times? Or was it like 16? It's an unreasonable number of times for having zero in-game hints that this is something you can even do and also have to, and it was just a mess. And there's like some light platforming, and the whole plot is just like an arcade open with cool Sega games that you want to go to. But we ended time limit on the whole thing. It was bad. Then there was Alice Kid in Shinobi World, which is just a Shinobi game with this character, honestly, and I don't think I've ever actually personally played it well, and counts it's fine. It's a Shinobi game. And oh, it's a Dharma. There are some Japanese as hell things in early Sega games. So yeah, that one was awful. Then that one was okay. Then there was like the big Genesis debut, which was kind of a direct sequel to this, which suffers from a couple things. First, it's one of the worst looking games I've ever played. And second, they decided, we really gotta double down on that rock, paper, scissors thing. So, like, when you go shopping, you have to play rock, paper, scissors after picking what you want to buy. And if you win, you get your thing, and if you lose, you die. And it's like, why are we doing this? I like that one-up sound. Yeah, doing this on foot is that kind of a pain, as you can kind of see. Well, imagine, I should say. But yeah, it was just like, we learned nothing over the course of making these games. We're gonna just showcase this gimmick. And here's the wild thing is, earlier this year, I want to say it was, they re-released this game as this, like, deluxe edition. You can get it on Steam. And one thing it does is, like, okay, there's an option to, like, have these alternate boss fights. Oh, speaking of boss fights, this is technically a boss fight. But the thing is, they changed the actual boss fight parts of the boss fights, which are fine. They're like, good when you get to the actual fight. You still have to do the rock, paper, scissors thing, which is like, no, replace that with, like, a proper boss fight. But, like, I guess people keep thinking that that's, like, essential to the essence of this, and why? Anyway, this is the most important level in the game, because there is an optional power-up partway in this that is kind of a semi-secret thing, and I guess it's technically possible to finish the game without it, through the power of rope memorization and very consistent play, but, like, that's just hell. I'll point it out when I get to it. It'll be fairly obvious, really. Okay, I think I am due for that to be Grim Reaper. So I am going to put it off. Or, I'm going to skip it entirely, because, right, this is it. Okay, now, damn it, what was the trigger? That little orb there, that little Dragon Ball. That, when you're playing rock, paper, scissors, will show you what your opponent is going to play, and you kind of essentially need it to win. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the lighting on those rocks is very underlit from the lava. Okay, so... Oh, it's just that. Okay. So I can afford to get this then. Oh, okay. And I probably should have activated that, but well. So now I can just barely make that. I now have the power up that opens up for me. So one quick little hop, and okay. Yeah, that is the telepathy orb. The secrets make this game at all, like, reasonable to finish. So now when I get to the next rock, paper, scissors boss, like, you will see what they're going to do, and I have that for the rest of the game, and delete it. And even with that, it's kind of tricky, because, like, they change their mind a lot. An awful lot. But yeah, this is actually like a really terribly positioned little flame. Deadly through a lot of that. I'm actually doing pretty well, I think, for how long it's been. Initial terrible performance aside. Nope. Okay, so again, that pink star thing would stun me, making it impossible to escape that Grim Reaper if I'd hit it. It's a weird way this handles like little special blocks. Another thing about this game is I believe this is one of the first games that Rieko Kodama, who really is Sega's Miyamoto, or was until not too terribly long ago, worked on doing the art, I believe. And like honestly speaking, if you look at games that Sega has released, like all the good ones, he worked on in some capacity, either as an artist or a producer or both. Especially the one that I'm going to make the... Oh, no, that's what the go blocks are. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Okay, I pulled it off. So this one should be a total pushover. Now it's just a reflexes game. Which get much harder later on. It's one of those things where, like, it never really leaves your memory after a while. Okay, I think the only power-up I don't have out of these is this one. And I think the bike kind of sucks here, but I'll take it. Yeah. Very generous checkpointing in this game, but no more bike for me. Also, very easy to die in this game. If I hadn't wiped out the bike, then I could just, be flying through these pillars and not have to make jumps like this. I think I can get another one later. Let's show off a power-up, because screw this. Power-up's very good when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a chance to get one of these. I personally don't have a route through the final level without using that. Oh, here's another power-up to use. Screwed in with reaching that sword. I will just use my little orb that summons a bunch of tiny me's. And yet another vehicle. This one does not last me very long or is randomly on contact. Oh well. So yeah, if I was in my prime, I could just speedboat through this whole thing, get a bunch of money. Okay, these suck underwater. Holy cow. Okay, I can make it, I can make it, I can make it, I can make it, I can make it. Okay. Indeed. Okay, here is Orb B. I have zero question of what that actually does. I know that is like invincibility for a while. And I do like how if you're like getting money, you like very rarely have to do a level on foot. And this was like pre Super Mario Bros. 3. Like this was really trying at a early point in the history of platformers. I probably actually really have enough playing for the rest of the game. I do kind of like those full column lightning bolts. It's very weird and cartoony. This on foot, yeah, I'd have to like carefully jump and punch those out. The gray ones are indestructible, by the way. Now I can kind of take the lid off, duck in. Nice and painless. There's a minimum time between being able to hit this too. It's like it's not as precise as you'd think it would be. It's probably gonna be a 1-up this time. Damn it. I should really use the ring at some point. The ring makes you just like shoot big like energy blasts out of your fist. I don't usually like using it because it's such a slippery game. You know, like sometimes you have to do some puzzly things with those blocks, and like if you're shooting out a line of them, that's less than ideal. But yeah, there was a time when I could, like, you know, like, one life clear this game. Less so today. I think I'm doing kind of okay, all things considered. Should have been nothing. So keep expecting the last minute change. Oh, wrong direction. And if you lose these, by the way, yeah. That was for demonstration purposes. Definitely not just me sucking. And there is a window at the end when you can't switch it anymore. So, yeah. There seems to be some logic too to like when each one will switch. The final boss is just like cycling it constantly, so okay. Okay, I want to get at least this far. This is like the first castle level, which are really freaking unforgiving. Cool music though. I'm gonna respect the hell out of that bat, because like those are... It's a sine wave pattern thing in a game where your attack range is that, so I mean... Here, if I recall, you kind of want to... wish for less slippery controls. I have respect for this now. Yeah, this is where I usually would first use that. As a kid, I used to think it was like his fingernail being fired. Which is... You know, you're weird as a kid. There's kind of a you can't punch while that's on screen thing going on. No, screw you, it's not worth it. Power blast until you die. The hitbox on those spikes is pretty generous. I don't need the money either. Just want to make progress of some kind. I do want the high road here. We'll actually like get that row out and then slide under. This is a valid technique, I swear. I think yes. Okay. Weirdly difficult to do, but you can do it. What will it be? Thought so. Okay, I want to say it's fish water water. Oh, just fish water, okay. So there are like two optional goals in this castle. One of them is freeing your brother here, who just, you know, sits here in the background now. And gives you that hint about the other one. Which I think is needed to like even unlock the final level. Is there any reason to... Okay, essentially no. And like, it's kind of a big maze, honestly, this whole place. So slippery. Okay. Yeah. I'll take it. I got half through the first castle without a game over. So that's a good taste of Alex Kidd. There are some more like standard levels. There's a second castle towards the end, which is really freaking brutal. There are rooms where it's like a trap goes off the second you enter, where you have to like hit particular blocks on the screen in the right order to open up a door and get out, and you have like a few seconds to do it all. And then the end game, there's this like slab with a like 15 character password on it, and you have to hit the symbols on blocks in the correct order. But it's written in like traditional Japanese style, so like vertical columns right to left, which, you know, playing this as an American in 1986 or 7, like, that's not a thing. So very easy to just do that in the wrong order and like not get the little crown at the end. But yeah, it's okay. It's kind of hard. It's very ambitious. I love this little title screen too with the little comic panels of all the vehicles. But you know, it's a decent game. But no other game with this character's name on it is worth playing. Well, maybe Shinobi World. Yeah. So that was our first sample.